get it right with the drum.
All right, so we are going to, Balthazar. So when we could say these things in words, like you guys did, light, carbon dioxide, water. We can also use what we call their chemical symbols. So you know water is H2O. You may not know carbon dioxide, it's CO2.
I did.
Okay. And we need light. Now you'll notice light is kind of drawn differently because usually we don't put energy in a chemical equation like this. That's why it's drawn like that. So we need light, we need water, we need carbon dioxide. And if plants have those materials available, they can change and rearrange the molecules, the atoms of water and carbon dioxide, into something else. What you guys said they make food. Well, they make glucose. So glucose is a type of sugar. It's a molecule that most living things can actually use for their energy. The chemical symbol for glucose is C6H12O6. That's glucose. C6H12O6. Oh yeah, you should recognize that. Now you'll note, and what else is produced? Another gas.
Oxygen.
Yeah, it produces oxygen as well. What's that?
What do the numbers stand for?
The numbers tell you how many atoms of each element there are. So in water, we have 2 atoms of hydrogen bonded to 1 atom of oxygen. In carbon dioxide, we have 1 atom of carbon bonded to 2 oxygen atoms. In glucose, things are a little more complicated. In glucose, we have 6 carbons. This is a molecular model of glucose.
Whoa.
So the black spheres represent carbons. Okay. The white represents hydrogens. The red, oxygens. And so glucose has 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, and 6 oxygens. Now you'll notice the elements we have here, are they the same elements we had over there?
Yes.
Yeah, we still have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. They're here. They have just been sort of rearranged into another form over here. And that glucose is important because that's what plants use for their energy. So when we say plants don't have to eat anything, they make their own food, really what they do is they make glucose. Okay?
Are we going to have to write what glucose is?
Yeah, you might. So the things on the left side of the arrow, we call the reactants. The things that are reacting. And the things on the right, we call the products. So the purpose of photosynthesis, the purpose of this for plants, is to allow them to make their own food, glucose. Plants don't need to go out and find things to eat. That's because they can go through this process of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is about transforming energy by taking energy from light and sort of capturing it, because the glucose molecule has energy stored in it. When you form bonds between atoms and break bonds, energy can be released or energy can be stored. So basically photosynthesis, energy from the sun, stores it here in this glucose molecule. But that's not the end. Because then there's another process that takes a glucose molecule and further breaks it down to get the energy back out of it. That process is called respiration. So this is one you probably are not very familiar. It's called cellular respiration. And the good news is it's easy to remember if you know photosynthesis, because it's basically almost the opposite. So in respiration, we need a couple raw materials, a couple reactants. Can you guess what we need? Danielle?
Light.
No, it doesn't require any light, actually. Mitchell?
Glucose and oxygen.
Yeah, it needs glucose and oxygen.
We have to know, like,
Yes. And what do you think it produces? You could probably come up with two of the three things. Max? It doesn't produce light. So we're going to put something else there. Balthazar?
energy.
Yeah, energy is going to go here. I'll tell you the specific type of energy in a minute. And what else, Jake?
Water.
Water and
Carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide. It's basically the opposite of photosynthesis. So it takes this glucose molecule, breaks the bonds, and extracts the energy from it. And it stores it in a different form. It stores it in a molecule called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is what it stands for. And ATP is what our cells actually use whenever they need energy to do something. It's the form of energy cells use. You can imagine it like this. Does sunlight have energy in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But can you just hold your phone up to it and charge your phone? No.
You should be able to do that.
So, but what can you do that will link these two things?
Solar energy.
You could have a solar cell that you lay out. They sell them, you can buy them online. Little solar panel with a cord coming out and plug it into your phone. Because your phone works on what type of energy?
Electricity.
Electricity. So what does this solar panel do? Yes?
Convert solar energy into electricity.
Yeah, it takes solar energy, converts it into a more usable form for our phone. That's what's going on here. Photosynthesis takes light energy and converts it into what? Food, glucose. Then respiration takes glucose, converts it into ATP. And this is like electricity to our cell phone. That's what ATP is to the cell. It's what the cell works on. If our cells don't have a constant supply of ATP, they die. All living, so what sorts of living things go through the process of photosynthesis? Right? Yeah, plants. There are some other things too. Some bacteria, some protists, but mostly we often will say plants. Can we go through photosynthesis?
No.
No. If we did, we never would have to eat. We'd just have to go in the sun. But we can't. We don't have the chloroplast in our cells to do that. But plants do. So plants go through photosynthesis. They get to make glucose, and then they break down the glucose to form ATP. Well, what about us then? If we're not doing this step, photosynthesis, how do we get energy?
Through eating like meat or something
Yeah,
like that.
eat the foods that we eat. We get this glucose in the foods that we eat. So you just ate an ice cream sandwich or something at lunch, your body's digesting it, and it's breaking down some of those molecules into glucose, which will be delivered to all of your cells so that respiration can happen. What organelle does this take place in? So we said, you guys know photosynthesis happens in the chloroplast.
Mitochondria.
Yeah, respiration happens in the mitochondria. That's what converts energy for the cell. What are the reactants in respiration? Bless you.
ATP, H2O.
No, those aren't the reactants. Yeah, glucose and oxygen, the products are ATP, water, and carbon dioxide. So the purpose of respiration is to take the energy that's stored in glucose and convert it into ATP so that cells can actually use it. Sophia? Yeah, it's like the electricity. It's where the energy is stored. Yes.
So you need to know what ATP stands for?
No, you don't need to know the word, just the letters. All right, so let's summarize this. All right, don't look down at your paper. Eyes up. Look at the overhead. No looking down. All right, I'm just going to ask you. No looking down, Caitlin. Eyes up. Eyes up. Eyes up. Eyes up.
Yes.
So don't look. Can you give me this equation for photosynthesis? Eyes up. No looking. No looking. Max, give me one thing photosynthesis needs. Eyes up. Photosynthesis needs.
H2O.
Okay. And Caitlin? Light. And Maddie?
Monoxide.
Good. Dioxide, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Carbon dioxide. Good. Those are the three things it needs. It produces. Emma. And Maya. Good. You guys got it.
We are
Do
we write this in?
Yeah, sure, write it in. You could look now. You could look down.
Does the order of the H2O?
Yeah, good question, Olivia. No, you could have written here CO2 plus light plus water, or water plus CO2 plus light. The order doesn't really matter as long as you have the things on the right side of the arrow. You have questions? Check.
If we forget to put like the small number, will we get points? Or
Yes.
not?
If you just put the abbreviation instead of the word, you get
No, either one is fine.
So you can write water.
Yeah, if you need to. But you should recognize it. So, in photosynthesis, energy from sunlight is changed into chemical bond energy. And this happens in the chloroplast. Chloroplast is where photosynthesis happens. Danielle?
How about doing it?
All right, hold on. We're not there yet. We will be soon. Okay, respiration. Cellular respiration. Eyes up. No looking down. You can give me one part of the equation, Danielle.
Yes. Glucose.
Glucose plus
Yeah.
faith, oxygen, arrows. Olivia,
ATP.
ATP. Mitchell,
H2O.
H2O, and Jake,
Carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide. Good. You guys are drop stars.
Yay.
Glucose plus oxygen produces CO2 and water.
So on the test we're asked like what ATP is, do you just say like where
Yes.
energy is?
You might say energy is that itself can use. Yeah. I mean, it's actually a molecule. It's not energy, but yeah, it's a molecule that stores energy that cells work on. So respiration happens in what organelle? Mitochondria of every cell, and it's the main source of energy. Almost all living things go through this process of respiration. We do. Do plants?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
They do. They make glucose, but then they need to convert the glucose to ATP, so they go through both processes. So this is how living things produce ATP.
Do you know what respiration?
What's that?
Do you know what
Well, like there's different types of respiration. This is way past what you guys need. Aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. One requires oxygen, one doesn't. Anaerobic respiration is called fermentation. It's what's used to make beer, wine, bread. They are sauerkraut, kimchi, all sorts of fermented foods.
Do they have a phone case that has a solar panel?
They probably do. You need a fairly large solar cell to provide enough electricity to power your battery. They have some that like unfold, and like if you're out hiking, you can unfold it, charge your phone a little bit. It doesn't charge it quickly or anything like that, but they do.
Wait, on the back having like flash.
Yeah. All right. So photosynthesis. We can do this and summarize. Requires what things? What does photosynthesis require, Wyatt?
Light.
Light, water, and carbon dioxide. And what are its end products? Sage? Yes, but I guess I'm going this way. Respiration, what does it require? Sage? What?
Glucose and oxygen.
Yes. The end products of photosynthesis, Sage just told us, glucose and oxygen. The end products of respiration. Olympia. The products.
The ATP and carbon dioxide and
Yes. ATP, carbon dioxide.
Do we have to write glucose or the?
Either one.
letter?
Either one, they're interchangeable.
Okay.
All right, what is the purpose, if you had to summarize it? The purpose of photosynthesis? Maddie?
the plants to make food.
Yeah, for plants to make food. Real simple. And, question?
Yeah. Wait, then do we have to know the 6, 12, 6?
You should know both of them, because you might be given one or the other. Purpose of respiration, Jake?
To provide energy.
Yeah, provide energy. Organelle. Photosynthesis. Kevin.
Chloroplast.
Chloroplast. Respiration. Alt.
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria. Which organisms do this? Danielle. Photosynthesis?
Plants.
Yeah, pretty much plants. Respiration?
Everything.
Yes, good.
Both.
So, people get tripped up on that one sometimes because they say, oh, photosynthesis happens in plants, respiration, and they want to say
Everything.
animals, but that's wrong. They should say everything. Yeah, it happens in all living organisms. Now, let's connect this to one other thing. Can anyone use,
Wait, so what happens in bacteria?
yep, can anyone use what we've just learned and tell me why we need to breathe, otherwise we die? Connect that, both. Connect that to what we've just learned. William?
Well, I don't know exactly how it connects to what you just learned, but it like you need oxygen to like provide it to your cells so they can like stay alive. But then when you breathe out, it like releases the carbon dioxide.
Okay, you're really getting there. Let's just, if we connect them a little tighter, Max.
To make respiration, you have to have oxygen. So when you breathe, it gives you the oxygen to respiration.
Okay, can we connect it to the exhalation?
The respiratory system.
That is part of this, yes, but I want some more, Mitchell?
After respiration, you get carbon dioxide. That's what you breathe out.
Right, it's a waste gas. So yeah, the reason we have to breathe, if our cells don't have ATP, they die. So, to make ATP, what do our cells need? Oxygen. How do we get oxygen to our cells? We breathe in and inhale it. At the same time, our cells, which are constantly undergoing respiration, they release carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide, as it builds up in our blood, becomes toxic, changes our blood pH. So we need to get rid of it. How do we get rid of it? We breathe it out. When you exhale, you're exhaling carbon dioxide. And why can you see your breath in the winter? Because there's water in it. Or if you're breathing your hands get wet. That's because you exhale water along with carbon dioxide. Layla?
Do your cells need like a constant supply of oxygen?
Yeah.
At first when you stop breathing, it's
Yeah, they need like a constant supply. Like you can't live for more than, I mean, it depends on the situation, a few minutes without oxygen because your cells start shutting down. Want to hear a cool song?